You are accountable. Everything you do affects your character, and your character affects everything around you. Judgment Day is upon you every day, every hour of your life. It is not something that awaits you when you're dead. Your deeds cannot be undone. If you have killed someone, you cannot unkill him. If you have harmed someone, you cannot unharm him. You can make amends, but you can never undo what you have done. Your amends must be directed to the harm you have done. You have to figure out how that amends can relate to the harm you have done. Kings and other royals, as well as others of power and wealth, have assumed that they could buy with worldly goods their conscience back, like they could clean the table. Your God does not give you free hunting licenses to be paid with worldly goods. And you do not get a blank check to be paid after you are dead. Do you honestly believe that heaven awaits you no matter what you do? I don't know what heaven means to you, but I'm certain that if you believe that heaven is of something good, then it could not reward you for killing others. It goes against everything you believe heaven to be. Your religious leaders have led you astray for their own need for power and wealth. I sometimes wonder what I'm doing here. I don't think I can reach you, but what I can do is I can give, you choose whether you want to accept it or not. People who know me as who I am expect me to know the future, and I can understand their curiosity. However, it can be more destructive for you to know than not to know. If you want to, you can easily read the future pretty much by looking at what has been happening to the world in the last 8 years. Don't judge it by a day or a year. Look at it by stepping back and look at it at a certain sufficient time so that you can read the signs. Common sense will tell you that climate changes are on the rise. Earthquakes, volcanic eruptions will play more roles in your lives. We have known that the earth is always changing. Sometimes the changes are small, sometimes they're large. However, small changes can be relatively large for the now overpopulated earth. And large changes may bring more disaster for the same reason. You are too dependent on air travel and computers. You're too vulnerable. There is no time you will have to make the changes you must do to minimize your losses. I don't think man will change on my say-so. We will have to prepare for what man has set for himself. I'm more concerned about the souls we will have to assist when you die. I don't want another wave of lost souls. This time there are so many of you. We may have big problems when you pass over. Man has always needed to be able to touch or see things in order to accept them to be true. In the early days, man would pick up a stone, and if something good happened to him, he would take it as a sign that this stone was his lucky stone and become dependent on it. When religion came to man, it could not be accepted without symbols similar to the stone. Man simply could not accept any religion unless it was presented to him as an artifact, like a cross, a book, or something solid. Still today, we are clinging to the stone. And you may say that we are standing still. If you look at people in business or sports, they will have their cherished socks or underwear or something they feel they must have in order to succeed in what they're doing. Now, isn't this a little bit like believing in a stone? Have we made a progress? If it's carved in a stone, it must be true. In spite of all the progress man has made, this seems to be the truth. When it comes to religion, we're still in the old sandbox. You needed a name for your God, and immediately the name became more important than what it stood for. You were told that God is everything, everywhere, that you had to build magnificent houses to pray to God. You personified God in order to make God look like you. And in order to make that work, you had the audacity to say that God made man in his own image. In order to make that work, take a look in the mirror. Do you really believe that an all-powerful God couldn't have done better? And if God made man in his own image, why is it that all men look different from one another? It seems to me that you went off the track on the first page. You chose God to be your servant and give you everything you wanted, not everything you needed. No, that was not good for you. And if that failed, you demanded that he bloody well prepare a heaven for you for when you die. In other words, you twisted it around. God must do better to please you. You are not the center of the world. Wake up. You are a part of something that is very, very big. We of the light who believe in the strength of human kindness and know that we can succeed only with love and compassion, we look at ourselves as a part of God, God being the great light, and we see you also as a part of that God. There's no one deity. Everything that is good is also in your heart, and it is in your hands to make that God bigger and better. Start thinking. Use your senses. You were not put here just to play around.